Hey guys, it's ML Linnell. I'm back with another video, and this video is the side effects of porn and how to quit. So basically, we're going to be talking about how bad and fucked up porn actually is for you and for your brain as a man. I mean, it just fucks you up. It makes you desexualized to the world. It makes you not want to have real sex, and it basically just fucks you up really bad. We're going to go through 5 downsides of watching porn, and then we're going to go through 5 ways to actually kick your addiction, so then you're no longer addicted to this thing that messes you up, because you can get addicted. What it does is it actually rewires these pathways in your brain that makes you want to have an ejaculation to porn instead of wanting to have sex with a woman and ejaculate on or in her. So porn really fucks you up, and we're going to go through these downsides and these ways to kick this addiction, so then you can start living your life to the fullest and max its potential. So the first cost that I want to talk about in this video is it reduces your motivation. So when you come home from work or you come home from school and you just beat it off, you jerk one out, there goes all your motivation. You've just spent it all watching porn, and you got nothing left. You're there, and you don't have any motivation to go out, actually talk to girls, actually better your life. Go to the gym, study, do some things for your business, and you lose all of that as soon as you go home and watch porn. Whether you do it every day or whether you do it once every blue moon, whenever you do it, it just fucks up your motivation. And they actually did a study on it that when you do release to porn, it's the same as a drug addict who does crack. You just get this release, and you get all this good feelings, but it's actually worsening your life, and it cripples you, it makes you fiend it, and it's actually super bad for you guys. The second downside is ED, aka erectile dysfunction. So when you're beating it off all the time and your brain has become so adapt to actually watching porn and just beating it off, you actually can't get a boner or an erection when you're with a woman and you're actually in that moment of having sex, because your brain has been so preconditioned to watching porn and using your hand. So it's you get there with a woman and then you can't do anything. You're stuck. So you can't get it up. And that's just disappointing for yourself and for the woman as well. It makes her feel really bad. And it actually has nothing to do with her as well. So this can really fuck you guys up. Number 3 is unreasonable beliefs. So when you start watching porn all the time, you're seeing all these setups. It's crazy costumes, good lighting, fake boobs, fake asses. These women, they look unrealistically real. It's just fucked up how they make it all look so good that you get this unrealistic expectation of what sex should be like. And then you lose the value of a woman's touch and actually being inside of a woman, because you're so preconditioned to watching all this messed up porn where everything's so perfect and they got the crazy costumes and everything. It's really messed up, guys. And what actually happens to people is they need to watch more messed up porn so then they can get off. They need to watch girls getting slapped around or gangbanged or even eventually raped, rape porn, and it's that just fucks up your brain. And then how can you actually value a woman after that? You've got all these unreasonable beliefs that it just fucks up your brain. Downside number 4 is your loss of pride. When you watch porn, you it's a bad thing and it's a bad habit that you're trying to kick, and then you beat one off, you lose your pride, you lose your self-respect, your self-esteem, your social confidence, and it just eats away at you. You know what I mean? You lose that kind of respect for yourself, and this leads you to just be this fucked up person who really hates his life and can't really respect himself. So make sure you're always not watching porn so you don't end up being that kind of person. And if you are the kind of person who's open about porn and they tell their girlfriend or they tell their parents or whatever, or their friends, and they don't really care, this won't really have much of an effect on you because you're kind of open to it and you don't really have that loss of pride whenever you relapse. And the fifth downside is the pedestalization of sex and women. So when you watch sex all the time, every day, every week, you end up putting women and sex as this unattainable or unreachable thing. And it's like, if you keep doing that, they will be unattainable and unreachable. So, you end up, being desensitized to, the thought of actually having sex. And then you have these self-limiting beliefs. And it's like, okay, well, you see yourself as this person who watches porn, and then you can't see yourself as a person who has sex. And then you see sex as like this fantasy that you can't reach. So it just makes it harder and harder for you to have sex. And the more you pedestalize sex and women, the more or less attainable it's going to be. And then when you do find yourself in that situation, it's going to be harder for you to actually enjoy the moment because you're just seeing it as this unattainable fantasy. Okay, let's move on to ways to quit, or tactics to quit porn. Tactic number 1, change your self-identity. So, for example, if you're a guy who, sees himself as someone who goes to the gym, aka me, then that's your identity. Like you got to see yourself as the person who goes to the gym, to be that kind of gym guy. So I go out, I buy gym clothes. For example, I've got some right here, like just a shirt, and you put it on and you wear it in front of a mirror, and it's like, okay, I'm that guy who's in the gym, who's working out, who's improving himself. And that creates this upward spiral of me seeing myself as the guy at the gym, to me being the guy at the gym, and to me making gains. And it's a bit more difficult with porn. You got to see yourself as the man who gets women. You got to see yourself as the man who has sex all the time. And then that's how you kind of change your identity from someone who watches porn to someone who gets women and has sex. Tactic number 2 is to jerk off or have a wank without porn. So basically, to see how addicted you are, basically, is to masturbate without porn. Now, this is kind of weird for me to say on YouTube, but if you can masturbate and you can get your penis erect and you can get to the point of orgasm, you're not that addicted. Like, you're not that fucked up. But if you can't, get your own dick up and you can't orgasm from masturbating without porn and just using your own imagination, then that's how you've become reliant on porn, and that's how you've got a lot of work to do. So give that a go, see how you go. Step 3 is we are going to replace porn with the good habits. So when you replace porn with the good habits, you're making like a huge impact on your life. Like, instead of getting the urge to watch porn, you transmute that urge into something productive, like going for a run, for example, reading a book, studying business, or even just doing your own studies. So the main thing is to replace that bad habit with the good habits. And honestly, it makes all the difference, and it helps you to improve your life instead of decreasing your life. And this is also what builds that motivation and that self-belief that you need to have in yourself. Tactic number 4 is when you do relapse, take it easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You do need to realize, yeah, I did relapse, but you don't need to, say, oh man, I really fucked up. I really hate myself. You just gotta say, okay guys, it's all right. I fucked up. I'm gonna learn from this mistake. I'm gonna see the things that happened before I relapsed, and now I'm gonna grow from this moment. I'm not just gonna sit here and go, oh fuck, I fucking did it again. Fuck everything. Fuck my life. I fucking hate myself. Fuck that. You gotta say, it's all right. I did it. I'm gonna learn from this. I know what happened. I'm gonna learn, and I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna come back. Okay? Don't beat yourself up. Always try and learn from these experiences. Now, tactic number 5 is remind yourself of the downsides or of the cost of watching porn. So basically, when you're about to watch porn, where you can see yourself slipping into that, that bad habit, you gotta say to yourself, man, this is fucked up. Like, I could be someone who has erectile dysfunction from watching porn. I will be someone who has erectile dysfunction. I will lose opportunities with women, with life, with business. I'll have all of these messed up things that happen in my life from doing this. And that will kind of give you this negative feedback attached with porn, which will keep you away from porn. And it'll motivate you to do something else with your life instead of just jerking it all day. We don't want that. Okay, we want to stay motivated, and we want to remind ourselves through the bad effects of porn that we don't want to be this kind of fucked up person, and we actually want to see ourselves as kind of someone who's outgrown that. I've outgrown porn. That's something I don't do anymore. I'm better than that. I'm not that kind of guy. And those are the 5 tactics to quit porn, and those are the 5 downsides or costs to porn. This is ML Linnell signing off. Stop watching porn. That shit's fucked up. It's gonna fuck your life up. Alright, catches. Hey guys, it's ML Linnell. I'm just editing the video as we speak, and I forgot to mention that if you are serious on quitting your addiction and you do want to break the cycle and start a new chapter for yourself, hit the link in the description for my new ebook on how to quit any addiction. This will help you guys improve so much in life. It'll help you reach that next stage that you want to get to. It's only $9.99 USD. This will change your life. This book will make you take that next step that you do want to go to in your own journey. So hit the link in the description. It's on Amazon as well. It's $9.99. It costs as much as, I don't know, a coffee, a bagel. Guys, if you want to improve your life, buy the book, give it a read, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Catches.